Very rarely do I get this path to myself. Normally people are walking their dogs at the time I pass through. A bit later than normal today. So it's interesting to find that so far I am the only one along the path. You might be able to hear workmen in the background. The road was meant to be closed today, and up till now there'd been no movement on what was actually happening, but that could be the reason, I guess. People aren't necessarily along this path. Maybe they've come early, but they'll be the noises that you'll hear in the background. And sometimes you find yourself filming a clip or something because the opportunity arises. I didn't necessarily have anything in mind this morning. I'm just taking a walk in the park before I head off to get my shopping. Walking to the shops and back, and I thought, well, I'll do this on the way. And sometimes you just got to take advantage of the moments that come. So even though there's noise in the background, this path is empty. It's brilliant, isn't it? And we just happen to have Simon the squirrel having a lovely feast in front of us. So yeah, if I waited for everything to be perfect before I did any filming or did any writing or did anything in our lives, let's face it, we'd be waiting forever, wouldn't we? Things don't always line up as we want them. We can't predict how things will turn out, in what way, in which place, which person, anything. There's nothing we can predict. We can want it, and maybe it would have been wonderful if I'd had this path empty and the background quiet and this squirrel eating away. But I've got a couple of those. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf told us. So here we go. Bit of nature, bit of Simon, a bit of an empty path, just me, and also some background noise. Oh, and I think that's a jay coming into focus. Isn't that gorgeous? And this is just like meditation, isn't it? When we sit down to meditate or be mindful, we sometimes say, well, I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for absolute quiet. I'm waiting for an empty house. I'm waiting for the right music or the right meditation. I'm waiting for the right emotion. I'm waiting. I can't do it yet. But actually, this is all the best time, isn't it? Even with background noise, to do our meditations, to know that we can still focus on our breath, whatever the externals are going on around us, because it's the internals that matter. Meditation, mindfulness, all internal. So my internals right now, standing here, perfectly fine, perfectly calm, perfectly happy with the noise in the background. The externals are pretty much perfect, aren't they? Really. We can't complain. It's a nice enough day. It's nice weather for a walk. All my senses are engaged. All this bit of nature that aren't scared off by those noises. You'd think they'd fly off, wouldn't you? Or scurry off. But they're used to it. They just let it go on around them. Other things are more important. Maybe they just have one focus, like we can have today. One focus. Pretty perfect. Now, if I describe this to somebody as pretty perfect, they might laugh or say, there's no way that's perfect, Alison, you're a bit crazy. I see another squirrel coming to my left, just sat in the path. Beautiful. I could have scurried along. I could have carried on my walk with my aim to get to my favourite place in the park where I take the photo every day. And I could have just neglected the fact that this path is empty. It's a gorgeous day, it's lovely, it's perfect for walking. You wouldn't sunbathe in it, but it's perfect for walking. Birds are eating. Birds are singing, squirrels are eating. And there happens to be noise in the background, which we always have noise in the background, don't we? Unless we've blocked out our ears, we always have some sort of noise around us if we're lucky. And we can hear it. And this is just as perfect as if we had every other condition perfect. What's wrong with meditating in this? This is wonderful. And soon that noise will stop, or it might not stop. You know, someone will still say it's making a noise, but if I was meditating right now, there'd be a moment when that noise was no more. I just wouldn't hear it. I would have tuned in to something else, or that would sound like music in the background. Because you can find a beat in there, can't you? If you're clear about it, you can find a beat. I don't know if you found it already. You can find a beat in that noise. And the noise is changing. It's not just noise, continually the same. Like any noise, any situation, it is continually changing. What can you find today that is near perfect?